the NBA Live 18 demo has been out a week now, or a little bit over a week now, I suppose, and it's actually had a couple of updates pushed through, Ben. I think 103 and 1.04 are the two updates that have come through, at least that I've noticed since the launch of the demo. So they are still actually updating the demo with patches, which is not only new content for the live challenges, of course, the live events, but also some updates. So they're obviously taking the feedback into account and actually updating the demo. So that also bodes well for the day one patch and I guess the game moving forward.
Yeah, yeah. I think it was one thing I brought up in last week's one was, whether they'd put some patchwork, like put some patches and extra stuff into the demo and that. So it was good to see that they are. The tweaks have been good from what I've understand. I need to check myself. I've been very busy the last few days that I haven't had a chance to play since I think 104 came out.
Yeah, so I need to spend some time with 104 and see. I have seen a couple of people say there has been some smoothness here and there. Some divided opinion. Others said there's no change at all. Others say there's some change. Some say there's been change but still room for improvement. All fair opinions. You can check them all out in the forum and, of course, join in that discussion yourself. But it is great to see them pushing through the updates. And it comes back to something we've talked about before, is that the early release of the demo really kind of makes it early. Well, not beta testing, because I think this is obviously a release candidate product with the demo, stripped down version of the full version. But certainly having that testing, that play testing before the release of the full version, so that the day one patch can iron out any issues that weren't caught by QA, that the most hardcore players will catch things that QA may not, or that they don't have time to implement by release, but that the demo is pushing it out to a wider audience, that's their intended audience. So it's worked out pretty well for them, I think, to have this extended demo. We did wonder why, or question whether it would be overkill to have it out for a month, but clearly pushing these updates through, there's a method to the madness, so to speak. And I guess it wasn't really madness in the first place, but it's the benefits are really presenting themselves, coming to light.
Yeah, the question was the risk in that, and it looks like it's paying off in terms of it. So hopefully in the end, not only us get to reap the rewards of it, obviously EA as well for their work in terms of improving the product and hopefully leading to a larger sales as well.
And I want to post some more impressions in the forum. As I said, want to spend a bit more time with the latest version of the demo, 1.04 patch, so to speak. And I want to share some media as well. I've captured a bunch. I've been a bit slow with uploads to our YouTube channel the past week. As we're recording this, I actually haven't posted clips from last week's show on the YouTube channel, which usually I'm ahead of the game with that. It's just been one of those weeks with stuff coming in. I'll have to see. Might actually come out after this show is up on the site, and then I'll just have a bunch of videos next week. Do want to do some more video content and commentary, of course. You can go back to last week's show and listen to our impressions, and we'll have more impressions, I guess, in the lead-up to NBA Live 18 coming out. But yes, once again, very promising to hear that they're listening to our feedback and trying to make some changes based on that. So keep posting those impressions, positive and negative. As always, we say if you do have negative feedback, the constructive as always has a better impact than childish name calling, I guess. But by all means, point out these issues. The constructive feedback, don't hold back on negative critique. If you have negative critique, just post in a way that's mature, that's useful, that can be put to use. Think of it much the same with our modding community over the years. I think that's the way I would explain it to people, Ben. If somebody was to just rip into me and say I'm stupid and don't know with basketball and I'm terrible with the rosters and everything, wouldn't really get to the point of what their complaint was, where someone said, hey, look, these ratings are outdated, or you've forgotten to include this art file, or you've forgotten to make this transaction, or something like that. That was obviously a negative critique, but it was telling me exactly what I needed to fix. So just the same way with our modding community, that we wanted to give each other constructive feedback and explain what's wrong with the mod, or how the mod could be better. So too does it go with EA and 2K. It's not about holding back on negative critique. It's about expressing it in a way that makes your point clear and precise, and Easy to read. Big long paragraphs of diatribes where you've got to really weed through a bunch of insults and poorly written sentences and rants and everything. Bullet points explaining exactly where the game can improve. The demo at this point, I suppose. That's the most useful thing, and we'll pass that along to the people that we know at EA, and EA are checking out the forums as well. So same as our friends at 2K as well. We know people at 2K who do the same for 2K. So whichever game it is, by all means post the positive and negative feedback on the games, but don't be afraid to go into detail and point out exactly what you mean.
Yeah, for sure. Make it clear. If you do catch a, say, instance, video or a screenshot, that helps in terms of if you're trying to explain something or show, like, if there's just like a slight glitch or a little mishap or even like maybe like a breakdown in a play, you just want to know, I guess, it might not seem right to you, or maybe it's something that can be improved with the AI element. So have all that stuff, explain what happened. Just clear, precise, and not fix it. Oh, this is trash.
Explain why. Explain why it's bad, and explain what you would prefer. Because this sucks. You're terrible. It doesn't really give anyone an idea of, okay, tell us what's terrible. Tell us what you would prefer. It's all about. That's what constructive feedback is. Again, think of it just the same way we have with our modding community, reporting issues with a roster or an issue with a cyber face, whether people say the eyes are too close or the mouth's not right. Specifics, and we know basketball games in this community, so by all means critique. And you bring up a great point there, that if you do have screenshots and ideally video to show some of the glitches and things with animations that could be better, because that certainly is still an issue with Live 18. If you can really demonstrate that with what you're talking about with videos, don't even have to have commentary on the videos, you can just have the caption there, but as long as you can show or describe what you're actually talking about and talk about it in detail, as I know we can, because we know our basketball gaming in this community, that's how you give constructive feedback.